I want to thank you for coming to our YouTube video. We're going to cover the Plygem Cedar Shake panels. We're going to talk about how to start them, overlap the panels for all the Cedar Shake panels. We're going to show you about the corner post too. So we're going to get right in. This is one of several series of installation on the shakes. It's really the second one. We have a couple more after this, so make sure you see all the others. We're just going to start overlapping and installing the first couple courses. So let's start about what the necessary accessories are. Eric is holding the starter strip. This is a unique starter, and you have to get the Cedar Shake starter strip. It comes in aluminum and steel. You have that option. So that is what we've actually installed on the bottom of this wall. So just remember, the regular starter strip doesn't work with the Cedar Shake products. Now, when we say Cedar Shakes, we have two brands. We're going over the Mastic Cedar Discovery line. We also have Variform with their Cedar Heritage. It's really the same kind of application. You're just going to start left to right on a couple of their panels. But let's show you the main panel. This is a 7/7 example we're using here, and we're going to go over the benefit. It's a very flexible panel, as Eric will show you, and it is a 64-inch panel. But we want to show you the details of the installation as we go through it. You'll notice it has elongated nail slots on the top, and also on the left end of the panel there's a tab, and that's where we're going to put another nail in there. I also, before we start, I want to make sure you realize it's absolutely critical. On the application of any Cedar Shakes from Plygem, you must have a solid wood sheathing. It cannot go over a foam sheathing over studs because you're not going to hit the studs. So let's talk about that a little bit with the nailing pattern. Eric's going to show you in the middle of all the Plygem panels, there's a hole to put a nail, a center hole. You don't drive any of the fasteners, screws, or staples tight, but you need that center hole, and that allows the panel to expand from the center. The next screw or nail would go into that left flange on the bottom. Now, when we talk about this product, we'll tell you about the other fasteners. The Mastic ones start from the right and go to the left. It has to be done that way because of that flange. Some of the Variforms will go left to right, and some of the other Variforms also go right to left. So you got to look where that flange is, and it tells you which direction you're going. Very critical. So the other nails you'd put at the top, you're going to add 4 more nails and space 2 on either side. And that's really going to be the fasteners. I want to show you a couple other things though. On the top of that nail fan, it's very critical. Eric has called it out. There's an 8 mark, and there's also a 0 mark, and that's going to help us overlap the panels in all the courses except the first one. Now, in the first course, he's going to come close to the screen. He's going to show you we have a temperature gauge at the top. Now, these are not in black. We've highlighted them, and on the back of the box, it'll tell you these details of how you install everything that I'm going over. But those marks are set at 0, 30, 70, and 100 degrees, and that determines where you're going to overlap the panel. We'll show you that. You only use the temperature gauge on the first course. All the other courses, you use the 8 and 0 or the odd and even for the Variform products. So those are the products. We're going to show you how we install it. One more thing we want to cover is the corner post, and then we'll show you how to cut this for the first piece. The corner post, Eric's got a piece of it. If you look on the right screen, you see we've already installed 2 of these corners, and this is the 7/7 we're putting up. So you got to follow the directions, but all the corner posts that we have, when you put 1 corner, you get 2 courses of panels. But if you look at the nail hem, you got to follow the directions on the box. You have to locate the center nail hole by measuring for the 7/7 here from the bottom of the starter strip, and then you actually mark the wall 14 inches up, and that's where you put that center nail, and then you put some other nails, and that lets that corner post grow from the center. So we got the starter strip up, we got the corner post. Let's just show you a little bit about overlapping. Again, temperature gauge on the first course only. So if you bring that full panel up one more time, Eric, I want to show what you cut off. Sorry about that. When you take the full piece, it's got a stagger in it, and what we want to do, that obviously won't go into the corner piece. So show them where you're going to make your cut, Eric, right on the edge there. You're going to make that level. So that's what he did with his first piece. He'll now show you the cut piece where we cut that straight. That's what you have to do on all the first pieces coming out of those cores. So now it's something that's going to go in there. So he's going to pass it off to Junior, and Junior's actually going to install it. And again, when he installs it, we're using screws here. He's going to lock it into the starter, push it into the corner post. Make sure he leaves a 1/4 inch. That's absolutely critical. He's going to put a center nail into the panel, just like Eric showed you. That's the first one. And then he's going to put a nail or a screw into that side lap. And then he's just going to put a couple other screws in so we can continue with the application. So remember, when he gets this done, Eric's going to get ready to install the second piece. He'll put a couple more screws in the top, maybe just 2. And now remember, When Eric gets ready, he's using a full piece on the top right, on that flange, point to that on the other side. On the other side, we're going to make that going to match. So when he puts the next panel up, that's going to sit on that temperature gauge. Let's say it's about 70 degrees. So he's going to lock that into the starter, pull it over until the top of that panel is sitting on that 70-degree mark. Again, you only do this on the first course. So again, Junior's going to go ahead. He's going to put some screws in, and then we're going to go over and we're going to take the measurement for the first piece in the next course once Junior gets a couple in there, and we'll bring Eric over to the corner post and show them how we measure it. So Junior will install that. Now, remember, I told you about the 8 and 0. So Eric's going to put the tape into the corner and find the 8 mark on that course, which is right there. So he's going to put his tape into the corner and measure how far it is to that 8 without stepping on his father. So there he'll go in. It's about 54 inches. Is that right? About 54? So it should be. The first piece should be a full piece. The first piece and the second and all the other even courses should be around 54 inches. So he actually cut 54 inches, and he's going to show you where he made that cut. So we'll look at that next piece. So from the bottom flange on the left, he put his tape over there on the bottom left flange, and then he pulled the tape and he measured over to 54 inches, and that's where he cut the panel. See that? So he measured from that bottom flange. Now he's going to give it to his father. It's already been cut. He'll lock it in. He'll make sure he leaves a 1/4 inch, but Eric's going to make sure that that bottom flange sits on that 8 mark. See? So we use that 8 mark for every even course. So he's going to put a couple screws in there. Eric will probably lock the other panel in. Now, you don't worry about that temperature gauge. After Junior puts that screw into that lap there, Eric will overlap the next piece. And when he does that, he's going to slide it onto the right. He's not going to worry about the temperature gauge. He's going to look at the bottom left flange when they put this on together, and he's going to make sure that bottom left flange is sitting on that 8 mark on that first course. Right, Eric? So that flange is now sitting on the 8. So Junior will put a couple screws in there. We're making Junior work hard. Now, what we need to show you is one more course. Now, I just want to explain to you why before we go much further, why are we using this 8 and 0? You can already see on the panels, the first and second courses, the gutters are not lining up. Now, that's why it's so critical that you follow the rules of the installation with the temperature gauge on the first course, because you don't have a course below it. And then every even and odd course, you follow the 8 and 0 up the wall. That will ensure that we don't have any lining up the gutters. Now, Eric's going to find the 0 mark, measure from the wall to the 0 mark, which will be on the second panel. Now, it'll almost be a full panel, it'll be 64 inches. See it? Perfect. So with that measurement he's going to take, now he's going to cut this panel, which is really going to be just cutting it straight. Again, Junior will lock it in, make sure he leaves a 1/4 inch, and now Eric's going to put that left flange on the 0 mark. Now, Junior will quickly screw it up. And then Eric will get the next piece. And again, when he locks this, he's not worried about the temperature gauge. It's so much easier to use the 8 and 0. So as you continue up the wall, you either use the 8 for the even courses and the 0 for the odd. We're on the third course. So when his father puts that screw in there, Eric's going to go ahead and overlap it, not worry about the temperature gauge on the right. And he's going to make sure that if we had another course, that would be sitting on the 0 mark of the panel below. So that's really how you install the panels, keeping in mind that you use temperature gauge first course, 8 on the second course, and all the even courses, and 0 on all the odd courses as you go up, because that was the third course. So it's a little tricky. On the mastic ones, you can actually see all this on the back of the box. The installation information is on the back. So that gives you a little information on how to put everything to get going. We have a couple more videos to show you how to finish off on the wall. We hope you come and see those, and thanks for viewing our YouTube video.